June is a look back at the North Iowa Nationals from Rockwell, Iowa in 2025. This has been the NTPA Overnight Report. I'm Greg Hunter. Remember, pull hard.
Take two on a back to work Monday. Back to the old grind, as they say. Trust you had a good weekend. Some call it the greatest day of the week. All right, meanwhile, I know here in the USA, we've become a net liquefied natural gas exporter. We don't rely on the Middle East, but many European countries do indeed. Do not know what the ultimate impact is going to be just yet, but apparently in Qatar, a major explosion rocking a factory Sunday. 54 injuries, 18 unaccounted for, according to the country's interior ministry. Now, the ministry said the blast was due to a technical malfunction during operations at a facility in Ras Laffan Industrial City, one of Qatar's key energy hubs. This was, I believe, one of the facilities that had been impacted by Iranian strikes earlier on, and they were trying to restart operations there. A statement posted on X, the ministry says the total number of injured persons has reached 54. They went on to say the Qatar International Search and Rescue Group of Internal Security Force, in coordination with civil defense teams, continues searching for 18 missing persons. Providing additional details, the state-owned Qatar Energy said there was an operational incident during the startup of operations of Ras Laffan Industrial City, which resulted in an explosion and fire at the Barzan local gas supply facility during the evening hours of Sunday. Now, all this amid the heightened concerns over security of Gulf energy infrastructure. This particular industrial city, a major center for Qatar's natural gas industry. A facility that sustained damage during the recent Iran-U.S. conflict. Qatar is also forced to halt some gas production following Iranian strikes targeting Gulf energy facilities, as we know there. So 844-844-3380. Again, I guess they're going to have to do more investigation, details of just how much liquefied natural gas may be taken off the market, or the fact that they were maybe just restarting this facility to begin with. That natural gas has probably been offline for some matter of weeks already. But there you go. Something we'll continue to follow. Kind of breaking news this early Monday. Hey, blind man.
Hey, Steve. I'm glad you got over your technical difficulties. I was a little bit worried there. Anyhow, I was listening to Bill Cunningham last night, and he was doing a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, which I wasn't really happy about. He was saying that Trump should do this or do that when it comes to Iran, and why do these talks go on and on and on, and needing a deadline. You got to make up your mind by such and such a date, because what the Iranians are doing, they're just playing the stalling game, hoping that the people here will get tired and take it out on the midterms.
Exactly. That's their plan. And
And
if the Democrats were to
Trump's going to have to do a. You got to do this by such and such a date, and not let this drag on.
Yeah. I Grump was talking about that earlier, and I think if indeed the Democrats were to get control of the House or the Senate, or heaven forbid both, come the midterms, obviously, I think Iran knows that they would tie the hands of Trump to try to force him not to be able to go back to any sort of use of military operations in Iran. I don't know if they could successfully do that or not. But you know that they're going to do their best, and they'll probably go right back to the impeachment process.
Absolutely. And they'll figure out a way to cut off funds for the military and Homeland Security. I mean, I can't believe the level of absolute hatred toward the president. And I got a couple of neighbors that won't even speak to me now because they got TDS so bad.
Yeah.
They can't stand the fact that I even voted for him.
Pretty sad, isn't it, Blind Man?
It really is.
Yeah.
And like I said, Trump's got to put a deadline to all of this and tell the Iranians you're either going to negotiate, or, as Bill Cunningham was saying last night, it's time to bomb the hell out of them again.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to check in this morning.
Well, Blind Man, always good to hear from you. Hope you had a good weekend, right, as we close it out. Hey, it's summertime, by the way. Welcome to summer. Now, I see from Storm Chaser Stephen Jones. Yeah, we were talking that line of storms that continues racing across Oklahoma. Recorded one of the official, what do they call the Messenet wind detection websites, locations there. 102 mile an hour wind gust at the Hinton, Oklahoma Mesonet. 102. So big time winds. Yeah, pulling up, I guess, continuing, racing to the east. These 60 mile an hour winds rolling through, where we at now? Creek County, Okfuskee County, racing through central Oklahoma. Here in the past 20, 30 minutes, they've been rolling through Oklahoma City direct, right there in the heart of Oklahoma. Kind of a rough way to start the new week. There was a topic Eagle brought up last week in regards to the World Cup taking place here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada as well. But the fact that Iran is being allowed to participate in the Iranian delegation actually coming into the U.S. interior to play these matches. It's a unique setup. Their team base is in Mexico, on the Mexico side. And when they're playing games here in the U.S., the administration is forcing them, like as soon as the game is over, you got to get on a plane and go back to Mexico. So they're not being allowed to hold up in hotels and things of that nature here in the U.S. Yeah, you're in, you're out kind of thing. But Eagle brought up the concerns about, can't believe they're even letting the Iranians into the country here. I think he was great. Ironically, over the weekend, Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullins says a man with direct ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps tried to enter the U.S. with the Iranian soccer team. When we started doing the research on him, he had only been put in place since 2022, and we didn't allow him to board the plane. Yeah, the guy trying to get on the plane yesterday had direct ties to the IRGC. Now, the Football Federation of Iran says that's an outright lie. The claim that an official representative of the Iranian Football Federation attempted to board a flight to enter the United States and was prevented from doing so is an outright, undeniable lie. This claim is so unfounded that those who made it are well aware that such an incident never occurred in the first place. Now, this, of course, coming from the Iranians. It's regrettable that a senior U.S. official has resorted to spreading false statements and misinformation to justify restrictions imposed on members of the Iranian national team delegation. Iran's national team's been training in Mexico. They are, as I said, permitted to enter the U.S. The day before their scheduled matches. The team entered the U.S. on Saturday before their match against Belgium yesterday, Sunday. Iran said they requested permission to enter the country 2 days in advance. That request was denied. Iran has filed a complaint with FIFA, arguing the restrictions preventing players from properly adapting to local conditions. But Mullen said he's had multiple conversations with the FIFA president about the travel restrictions and concerns about trying to possibly infiltrate the U.S., the Iranian delegation. Separately, I did hear Fox News reporting this past morning, Sunday morning, early in the day, that I guess U.S. officials are seeing an increase, apprehending individuals people with ties to the IRGC, the Iranian Guard. They're trying to get into the U.S. via the northern border, seeing as the southern border is pretty much locked down. Nobody getting in, so they're trying to use alternative methods. The concern that they indeed may be trying to sneak, like the likes of sleepers into the country. These are the radical IRGCs. As far as the southern border goes, word came down late last week. We are now 13 consecutive months without releasing an illegal border crosser into the heart of the United States to pursue any asylum claims, according to Customs and Border Protection. That's a milestone as apprehensions along the southwest border fell below 10,000 in May, the lowest monthly total in more than 30 years. Customs and Border Protection recorded 9,998 apprehensions between the ports of entry along the southern border. That breaks down to like 323 a day. 94% below the average, the count during the former president's administration, 96% below the peak levels during that period when a single Border Patrol sector recorded about 17,000 apprehensions in 5 days' time. Mark Wayne Mullen tied the streak to President Trump's enforcement posture. 13 straight months, 0 releases at the border. We're delivering the most secure border in American history. Those days of catch and release are over. Now, this is at the border, ports of entry, of course. There are still those trying and some successfully getting into the country away from those port of entry locations. That's what they call the gotaways. If we spot them, we get them. But there's always some that kind of sneak through the cracks, a.k.a. the gotaways. But those numbers are down exponentially as well.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for industrial injection torque lock injector cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com.
Sex trafficking is fueled by the normalization of the commercial sex industry in our society, as seen in activities like escort sites, street-based prostitution, brothels, strip clubs, pornography sites like OnlyFans and Live Jasmine, webcam pay sites, and paying for sex acts during a massage. TAT offers information on the links between the demand for commercial sex and human trafficking. To learn more about human trafficking, visit tatnonprofit.org.
All right, and then we've got the non-domiciled CDL holders, where around the country, states continue taking steps to crack down. In the state of Ohio, report states they've downgraded roughly 1,200 licenses that do not meet the current federal standards. In the month of May, the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles announced that they would be contacting approximately 5,000 non-domiciled CDL holders to verify the status of their credentials under the updated rules from the FMCSA. At that time, the Bureau said non-domiciled CDL holders in the state would receive one of two notices, depending on the type of documentation they originally used to obtain their CDL. First group consists of drivers whose original documentation complies with current FMCSA standards. Those drivers received a notice that their licenses would remain valid until their expiration dates, but their CDLs would not be renewed once they expired. The second group comprises drivers whose original documents do not meet the current guidelines. Those CDL holders received a notice that their licenses would be downgraded to a Class D license within 30 days of receiving the notice. Nearly a month later, the Ohio BMV said they're still in the process of completing the review of nearly 5,000 non-domiciled CDLs. A spokesperson for the Bureau has confirmed approximately 1,200 of those have now already been downgraded, so they can no longer drive a commercial vehicle. Now, drivers who received a downgrade notice can request a hearing with the BMV to dispute the downgrade and can provide additional documentation to prove their eligibility. That would mean an unexpired employment authorization document issued by USCIS that's valid on the most recent CDL or learner's permit issuance date, or an unexpired foreign passport with an unexpired USCIS I-94 form, both of which must be valid on their most recent CDL issuance date. Officials said the Ohio BMV has not issued or renewed any non-domiciled CDL since the FMCSA put those new standards in place late last year. And Ohio said they do not intend to resume issuing non-domiciled CDLs in the future. that sounds like at any time. Yeah, no more non-domiciled in the Buckeye State. It's the way it sounds. All right, you know very well, if you drive a truck for a living, well, especially if you're an owner-operator. If you're a company driver, I guess, you're not footing the bill. But for many truckers, a tow doesn't just ruin the day, it can eat up a paycheck. That's why more states are fighting back against predatory towing. From Connecticut to Utah, lawmakers passing new protections to stop bad actors from cashing in on drivers when they have no choice. Of course, OWIDE has been leading that push, working with states to put fair towing rules on the books. In the state of Utah, they have approved new protections for commercial trucks caught in non-consensual tows. The law clearly separates recovery work from routine towing. It also requires commercial insurance policies to cover recovery costs. Insurance companies have to pay for reasonable towing, recovery, and cargo expenses within 60 days after receiving a bill. Representative Kay Christopherson says nearly a third of recovery companies must post a bond while disagreements are worked out. Part of the payment has to be made up front.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard. It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com. Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Switzerland for talks aimed at arranging a peace deal with Iran.
Can we turn over a new leaf? Can we change relations in the Middle East permanently? Or do we go back to doing things the old way, which is not our preference, but is certainly very much something that can't happen?
The negotiations come amid uncertainty over the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran claiming the oil route has been closed while the U.S. military says traffic continues to flow. Energy Secretary Chris Wright says oil is flowing normally through the Strait of Hormuz amid uncertainty over the vital waterway. Wright made those comments on ABC's This Week.
Flows of oil and natural gas through the straits have already returned to normal, and they will continue that way, whatever happens with the negotiations with the Iranians.
Iran claims it shut down the strait over Israel's actions in Lebanon, while shipping data reportedly suggests Iran's claim of a closure. A new Harvard report shows home buying activity is falling across the U.S. The State of the Nation's housing study finds existing home sales are near a 30-year low. Median prices for a new and existing house top $400,000. The report also shows existing home prices are up 54% since 2020. The Trump administration has established a new panel to try and resolve unidentified anomalous phenomenon sightings.
Oh, they're out there, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said the new UAP Governance Board met for the first time last week to support the president's directive on UAP transparency. So, little green men, you have been warned, as the agency said the new council will also assist in the timely coordination and declassification of UAP-related information. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb will lead the new board's UAP Science Advisory Council. I'm Rob Martier.
AAA says the national average price for a gallon of gas is $3.93. The highest prices are found in California, the lowest in Indiana. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
Two Manhattan men are facing several charges after investigators say they imported date rape drugs for distribution across the 5 boroughs.
The drug GBL is also known as a lethal date rape drug and goes by the street names Blue Nitro and Revivarant. Those who take it become relaxed and euphoric. The New York Post reports 34-year-old Rodrigo Castro and 48-year-old Mark Digden are accused of bringing in 7 tons of GBL starting in August of 2023. They've been charged with conspiring to distribute a controlled substance. U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton called GBL liquid poison and said 1 dose could be deadly. Both men have pleaded not guilty. In New York, I'm Lisa Salvati.
Smoke and air pollution are not the only concern from a massive warehouse fire burning near downtown L.A. Officials say the cold storage facility holds around 85 million pounds of food, now at risk of spoiling. Several hikers died recently while hiking the Grand Canyon's inner trails.
The National Park Service said Friday rangers and emergency personnel responded to 2 separate heat-related incidents on June 12th and June 16th. Park officials said emergency responders arrived to find the hikers dead on the trail. A 72-year-old man was found dead June 12th on the South Kabob Trail, and a 67-year-old man and a 68-year-old woman were found deceased on the North Kabob Trail on June 16th. An investigation into their causes of death is ongoing, but they appear to be heat-related. I'm Lisa Carton.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit be-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000.
here on a Monday. Ready or not, it's summertime. Here it is, officially underway. Hello, Rick in Columbus. Coffee up. And I see your Reds picked up a couple wins in a row, but still leading from the bottom. How's that possible? Yeah, bottom of the pack in the division, but there's a lot of baseball yet to be played, right? Don't give up the ship just yet. Meanwhile, back to predatory towing around the country, which can ruin your day in short order. Arizona lawmakers taking aim at predatory towing after too many drivers have been hit with outrageous fees. House Bill 2305 would create one set of towing rules for the entire state. Cities and counties would no longer be able to set their own towing rates for vehicles removed from private property. The bill also tightens the rules before a tow can happen. Warning signs would have to meet state standards. Towing companies would have to take photo or video of the violations and notify law enforcement within 1 hour. The bill also spells out how owners can get their vehicles back. I said this bill has been years in the making. We finally got to a spot where we can put an end to predatory towing in the state. This will get rid of all the bad actors. Now, they've added a provision for truckers. A new study committee would review how heavy-duty trucks are towed from private property and recommend changes. The bill also directs the Department of Public Safety to study whether Arizona should create a towing compliance and enforcement unit. So still a lot of work to do. Still have that study committee for that to deal with the heavy-duty commercial side. But that legislation is now headed to the governor's desk, as a matter of fact. North Carolina fighting back against predatory towing after too many truckers have left paying the price. A new law that took effect in 2025 gives drivers stronger protection when a tow happens without their consent. One of the biggest changes since December 1, tow companies can no longer slap a boot on a commercial truck for parking enforcement. Companies that break the rule can be fined up to $1,000. The law also protects valuable cargo. After a non-consensual or government-ordered tow, companies must quickly return commercial cargo when the driver or cargo owner asks for it. A trailer swap is allowed if the replacement trailer is of a similar type in good working order and no more than 5 years older than the original, as arranged by the cargo owner. Representative behind this says the law is a positive step, but noted, again, still more needs to be done to protect commercial drivers. OOIDA has spent years fighting for stronger protection to stop truckers from getting trapped with predatory towing. Doug Morris, Director of Government Affairs, said most towing companies do the job the right way, but there's that small number of bad actors that give the entire industry a black eye. These new rules are a step in the right direction. Time after time, states find that towing companies are overcharging drivers simply because they think they can get away with it. All right, back at it here on our, again, final hour on a Monday. Eagle back with us here. Welcome back, Eagle.
Okay. Before I get back to this Iran situation, I want to talk about the NASCAR race today in California. Look like we had another Toyota victory. They definitely have an advantage. We talked about that over Chevrolet and Ford. Ford's not even they had a couple of cars that was doing halfway decent, but Shane Van, he probably was going to end up winning the race again. He was on the pole. He had the fastest lap on Saturday for the first place for the pole position. He was running up front. He was running up front all day long. He got caught up in somebody else's accident. He was running in third place when he got run off the race course. So he probably would have ended up winning. If not, if he wouldn't have won, he would have been in contention. He would have been able to finish out. I'm pretty sure he could have beat this rookie driver, the guy who won Corey. You know, he's a good driver, but he's inexperienced first year, you know, driving in the Cup. I don't think he could have beat Shane if it would have came down to it, but he still ran a hell of a race, you know, good race at the end with him and Tyler for the champ. But I had a figure he was going to win because he was, you know, Tyler had already won this year, so they let him race. They didn't try to hold each other back. They ran like they wasn't on the same team, so it was a good finish. He happened to come out on top. So I don't know if they're gonna run there next year, but it was a decent race. It was better than what I thought it was gonna be. I didn't see the whole deal. I just seen the last 30 or 40 laps, but it was pretty good action. From what I've seen, Kyle Larson was the best Chevrolet. He had a chance to win, but he lost. He had car problems towards the end and got in, I think, in third or fourth. So he was the best Chevrolet, but it was a decent race overall. They got another road course. I don't know what. Well, it's a similar race. Then you're going to just stay in California, go up to Sonoma next Sunday. So basically the same race. So Shane, he'll probably be in contention to win that one next week, unless he gets wrecked out, the car breaks down. That's probably his trophy. Go ahead and give him the trophy now. So we'll see what happens on that next week. And I'm not sure where they go after that. I think they said Chicago on the 4th of July and the day after the 4th of July. So I didn't even think they was going to have a race that weekend. But I want to talk about, before I get to this Iranian situation, I want to talk about this one guy. It just shows you some of these people that how out of control some of these people are. Just they said they determined it now that it was sabotage, that it was on this water national whatever they call the thing, that some people sabotaged the water to try to embarrass Donald Trump. So you got people out there that the hatred for him is at 100% right now. With people, troublemakers, so anything can happen at this point over the next few years when it comes to Trump, because he definitely got more enemies than he got friends, it looks like, the way it's looking right now. Now, as far as this Iran goes, Steve, like I told you, tried to tell you the first call. Okay, now it's gonna come down to this, Steve, and I believe at this point, because you said and Grump said the same thing, that let me see how he put it. He said that Iran is controlling the Hezbollah, that they could tell them at any point to stop shooting missiles into Iran, which I don't think they can. I don't think they have control of those people. And Hezbollah, I think they're doing it because they want to do it. I haven't seen no proof that Iran is telling these people to do that. But like I said, it's going to come down to this, Steve. I believe that if Israel keeps being pressed, I believe at some point Netanyahu, he's going to be pushed to the point to where he's going to be ready to use nukes into Lebanon because he's not going to tolerate. And I told you that before. I wouldn't tolerate it either. Somebody shooting missiles into my country. You put yourself in that man's shoes, and like I said, for Donald Trump to tell that guy, that's that guy's country. He can do what the hell he want to do. Trump, yeah, he can tell him not to shoot missiles back at Hezbollah, but it's still up to him to do it, to do what he wants to do. Trump is not the president of Israel. Netanyahu is. Now, like I told you before, Steve, this situation with the U.S. There's not gonna be no deal to be had. And even if there's a deal to be had, like we've said before, we've seen clearly what's happened over the last weekend. If people haven't figured it out now, you'll never figure it out. Even if they do sign a deal, they're not going to oblige by the deal. They're not going to do what they're supposed to do, because you see that already. How many times have they backed out of the deal? Okay, they backed out once again. So even if they sign on the dotted line, they're not going to uphold what they signed. These people, this is just the way these people are. So they're going to continue to try to enrich the uranium. They're going to continue to get a nuclear weapon. All that's going to happen, whether they sign on the contract or not. So what it's going to boil down to at this point, Steve, I don't really care about that. They can't continue to keep the strait. They say it's open. I haven't seen proof that it's open, but they can't allow that to be shut down, because now we see that it's affecting the global. It can affect the global economy. That's money. I don't know how much money is being lost every day that those ships sit in that strait not being able to move. Donald Trump has to put his foot down on this deal here, that Iran will not be allowed to shut the strait down. If it's shut down, immediate action needs to be taken against Iran. Just that simple. We can't keep going this monkey game with these people. They because, like you said before, and I was the one who told you that a couple of weeks ago. I told you I heard that on another radio show, daytime show, that they were trying to stall out for the midterms because they know come midterms, Donald Trump will have his hands tied with the Democrats. The Democrats will be trying to impeach him out of the White House and do everything they can to get to try to make this war Trump make it worse for Trump. So Iran knows this. So they're trying to stall out at this point, Steve. There's not going to be no deal to be signed. J.D. Vance, he might as well get back on the airplane and head back to the United States, and don't even waste his time going back over there again, because they're not going to sign no deal with JD or anybody else they sent over there to from the United States, because these people don't want no damn deal. So at this point, like I said, all I'm concerned with right now is the strait and keeping this thing open so we can keep these gasoline prices down in America and keep the world economy going. Because if they allow those ships to sit there for another 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, only bad things are going to happen. So Donald Trump needs to make sure on Monday morning, first thing tomorrow morning, Donald Trump needs to make sure that strait is open. And if it ain't open, he needs to immediately contact Pete Hegseth and start bombing in Iran. It's just that simple. And I thank you for taking my call.
All right. Yeah. The big question is the strait open? Like I said, you can go through the maritime. What they say, 25 vessels a day, in the last several days. That would be open, but a far cry from back to normal operations. Somewhat 500-600 vessels still anchored. And again, the bigger question is the insurance companies. They have to insure these vessels for millions of dollars, and if they don't underwrite and give them the green light to go through, they gotta, hey, the anchor's down, we just gotta wait. It's the waiting game.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Did you know? Some reports suggest the average lifespan of the American truck driver is around 61 years old. 61. Long hours, sitting all day, constant fatigue. It takes a toll, and most drivers just accept it as part of the job. But what if it's not just the job? What if it's how your body is handling it? There's a breakthrough technology called X39, designed to support your body's natural wellness. Here's what makes it different. It doesn't put anything into your body. No drugs, no stimulants, completely drug-free and non-transdermal. Instead, it uses your own body heat to stimulate your skin, helping elevate GHK-Cu peptides and support stem cell reactivation. That means supporting natural age-reversing processes, helping improve vitality, supporting daily activity, easing movement, and promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. If you spend long hours behind the wheel and want to feel the difference, call 888-687-9007 or visit X39Driver.com. Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard. It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Sommers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
Rolling up on 23 past the hour. Hey, good morning, Dan. What's happening?
Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
Good.
How was your weekend?
Too short, but a good weekend.
Yeah, I hope you had. I'm sure you had a good Father's Day. So,
yes.
I'm just, I'm of the same position as Eagle. It's time. If the president wants to save face, it's time to literally annihilate those people. And don't call us. We'll carry you out of there. And, it's time for a regime change. And let the citizens that are going to have to bear it until they can get somebody else in there that can act as an adult. And that's putting it mildly and not an animal. And I just... Quite frankly, it's hurting President Trump. It's hurting him domestically, and if he keeps going, he won't be. The Republicans won't hold the majority in November, and the Iranians would be right about that. So I just would level it, and I mean level it, and start with that port that they're protecting. I mean, if they've got a blockade up and we got a blockade up, something's not adding up here. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they keep saying we've annihilated the Navy, we've annihilated this. Well, they're firing something, so let's go after that, the missiles. And I'm an ardent supporter of President Trump and his administration, but I just don't see how we can keep going like this and expect the American public to feel that the man has the guts to lead a war.
I didn't see the numbers, but I do know, I guess polling says the majority of Americans want the Iran conflict to be over, and I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, they want it over, and I want it over. I'm tired of hearing about it. But I'm tired of hearing about these people. These are evil loser SOBs. They will never be anything different. I'm not a rehabilitator or anything like that. They have no future. They should be on death row, and they need to be annihilated. and that'll teach them a lesson that they'll never come back to. Because what they're looking at right now is getting involved in an American election in November. They think that's their lifeline.
Yeah.
And it may be their lifeline. It may well be their lifeline. But President Trump has got to be a leader. And a leader is we're going to open up that strait, and we're going to annihilate your ports, and we're going to take your oil, and you're gone. And maybe, they got these Iranians, this IRG is real big talk. Well, let's see how big talk you are when your life's at stake. And that's just the way I think it should be. And I mean, these other Middle Eastern countries, Oman, and all of them, I really don't trust them either. But if they're the ones saying hold off. Well, you get in there and do something. But we're going to. This has gone far enough, and that's the way I feel about it. So
gotcha.
But anyway, I appreciate the show. Unfortunately, I haven't listened to all of it, but thanks a lot.
Dan, good to have you with us. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Obviously, it's like everything. It's split down party lines as far as overall. Nearly 78% of Americans, according to this poll, said they enough already. I want the Iran thing done. Although a majority want the war between the U.S. and Iran to end, only 22% believe the agreement favors the U.S. 69% of respondents don't believe the war was worth the cost to the United States, while many say it was unsuccessful in advancing U.S. strategic or economic interest. Now, like I said, divided along party lines. 44% of Republicans say they believe the conflict should continue. 56% want the war to end now. Republicans also divided over whether the U.S. has permanently halted the nuclear program or prevented Iran from threatening the region, and whether the agreement represents a draw, per se, versus a U.S. victory. Overall, 64% of respondents say they believe the war had a greater impact on the global economy than the president expected. The 66% believe an agreement was reached primarily because the administration wanted the war to end. 42% say they expect gas prices to decline. 35% believe prices are going to stay the same. 23% say they think it's going to rise even further.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz told CBS's Face the Nation that the Trump administration's focus is ensuring Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon.
But what President Trump is doing is striking that balance with also ensuring that a genocidal regime that none of us trust can never have a nuclear weapon.
Waltz says any agreement with Tehran would depend on verification as a 60-day negotiation window begins under a recent memorandum of understanding. President Trump is doubling down on his criticism of Italy's prime minister.
Trump told an Italian journalist this week that Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni had begged him to take a photo with her at the G7 summit. On Friday, Meloni pushed back against Trump's claims and said there is one thing he must remember: neither I nor Italy ever beg. She added that it is regrettable that Trump is more accommodating to enemies of the West than he is to U.S. allies. On Friday, Trump doubled down on his criticism of Meloni and said, I don't want her as a fan because she was not there to help the U.S. with the Strait of Hormuz. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Former U.S. Olympian canoeist David Hearn has been arrested for allegedly vandalizing the Washington, D.C. reflecting pool. U.S. Park Service says the 67-year-old was taken into custody on Friday for destroying government property. The Washington Post reports Hearn, who competed in 3 summer games, says he was biking nearby when he noticed the peeling paint. President Trump says Keir Starmer will resign as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
The president made the statement in a post on Truth Social Sunday, writing that Starmer failed badly on immigration and energy. His comments come as the BBC reported signs that the prime minister could make a decision to step down as soon as Monday. The outlet cited several government insiders. Some ministers in the Labour Party have reportedly called for Starmer to go following Andy Burnham's election victory. I'm Lisa Carton.
From America's News Network, USA, Radio News.
Commerce moves fast. Your business should too. If you're not on the first page of search results, you're losing customers. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Don't let that be you. iLocal.net has helped local businesses dominate search results since 2009. For a limited time, iLocal.net is offering a free website analysis to improve the online presence of your business. Local business owners across the U.S. turn to iLocal.net to improve their search engine rankings. Search engines are constantly changing their algorithms. You need the professionals who know how to use those changes to benefit your business. Don't hope for new customers. Get found and be chosen. Call 888-699-2407 for your free website analysis. Don't wait. Call 888-699-2407. That's 888-699-2407. For your free website analysis, call 888-699-2407.
A Commerce City, Colorado family is lucky to be alive after a pickup truck plowed into their home on Friday night.
It happened on 54th Avenue, right near Interstate 270, and Fox 31 spoke with homeowner Saul Lovano.
My little daughter is eating some lunch. They need like 2 feet away by the truck, so it does almost pass over my daughter.
Only one person was in the home and suffered minor injuries. Officials say the truck hit 3 other cars on the interstate before driving off the highway into the home. The driver is being held on suspicion of several charges, including DUI. I'm Jim Forbes.
3 people are dead after a single-engine Piper Cherokee crashed in Bowie, Maryland. State police say the plane was traveling from Ocean City, New Jersey to Montgomery County Air Park when it went down late last night in a wooded area with a pilot and 2 passengers aboard. The NTSB and the Maryland State Police are investigating. A federal court is giving Ohio permission to restrict children's use of social media.
The 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Thursday overturned a ruling which put Ohio's parental consent law on hold and found the law did not violate free speech protections guaranteed by the First Amendment. The law had been put on hold at the request of the tech industry trade group NetChoice, which said it remains fully confident that the law will ultimately be struck down. The ruling comes as countries around the world have started restricting children's access to social media over mental health concerns. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And I'm Anthony Lucero, USA Radio News.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. By the National Association of Broadcasters.
The Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers. Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios. Call Steve now. 844-844-3388. That's 844-844-3388. Yes, indeed, Rick. Rounding third, headed for home. You got it? Now, you've been a little under the weather, huh? Upper respiratory infection? That ain't no fun. Hey, how about Tulsi Gabbard, who will be exiting stage left, I suppose? Kind of dropping the hammer on old Dr. Fauci and one of her final official acts as Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard releasing declassified documents that she says shows Dr. Fauci helped fund gain-of-function research at China's Wuhan Institute of Virology, and that Fauci then testified before Congress that the National Institutes of Health did not fund such work. In other words, lied to Congress. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, of course, she's stepping aside, resigning her husband diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. I think everyone is in agreement it's the right thing to do. Be by your husband's side in time of need. After years of lies, censorship, and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, accountability, she says. The tactic used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuse of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to vital facts needed to help keep the country safe. It's time the people learn the real story. Now, she says the documents expose how Fauci worked with career intelligence officials to suppress the truth about his actions. The virus lab leak origins, his role in directing the U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused all this harm and countless loss of lives. Now, Fauci's maintained the virus originated in the wet market rather than the lab. The documents expose Fauci's direct role in influence and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024. Under oath, he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. These documents directly contradict his 24 testimony to the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. In that hearing, Fauci was repeatedly asked whether he spoke to FBI, CIA, DIA, or any U.S. intelligence agency concerning viral research before, during, or after the pandemic. Fauci said, not to my knowledge about COVID, adding that after investigations began into COVID, I was briefed by intelligence agencies about possibilities of there being activities going on in different laboratories. But the smoking gun, the documents, this is unrefutable. The documents show Fauci met with intelligence officials, including CIA personnel, in June of 21, almost a month after a Senate hearing in which he denied funding gain-of-function research involving coronaviruses at the Wuhan lab. While briefing intelligence officials, Fauci keyed in on specifics about the Wuhan lab's experiments on pangolin samples. Fauci said he believes the virus originated in an animal like a bat or a pangolin before jumping to humans. He was particularly interested in the WIV's work on pangolins and asked for specifics about the type of experiments that the Chinese were conducting on those samples in the fall of 2019. Another document from the meeting showed Fauci gave the impression he was presumably not tracking the research. He's not described as raising any alarm about research at the Wuhan lab, including work funded through the National Institutes of Health, granted to Eco Health Alliance, that involved modifying at least 3 different bat coronaviruses and finding they became much more infectious when human-type receptors were added to them. These documents coming more than a month after the 5-year deadline passed, during which Fauci could have been charged with perjury for his congressional testimony. Now, although Fauci got that preemptive pardon from Joe Biden literally minutes before Trump was sworn into office. President Trump declared the pardon, along with others possibly signed by the auto pen, to be null and void, arguing that Biden was mentally diminished, incapable of authorizing that pardon. But some are saying that word kind of crossed the wire like 20 minutes before Donald Trump was sworn in for his second term as president. See if anything comes of it. Likely not, but meanwhile, heat, dry, windy conditions fueling several wildfires out west, including an uncontained blaze in Utah that forced the evacuation of a small town southwest of Salt Lake City. The Iron Fire in Utah's Juab County, first detected Saturday, has blackened 34 square miles, according to authorities, forcing the evacuation of Eureka, a small town of about 1,000 people and a ranch nearby. Thus far, no homes have been lost, according to Utah Fire. And in a post on X, said firefighters conducted a successful backburn operation to protect the town. Fire prevention specialists with the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Labs warned that the fire was continuing to grow with the drought conditions. This fire was human-caused and remains under investigation. Governor Cox visited the town Sunday, stating, "We knew there was going to be extreme fire danger, and sure enough, we had multiple fires." The Iron Fire, one of 6 fires burning in the state at varying levels of containment. Nearby Colorado, the southwest corner of the state, under a red flag warning from the National Weather Service, continuing until today with gusty winds and low relative humidity. A wildfire prompted evacuations over the weekend near Sedona, Arizona, burning some 300 acres near Oak Creek Canyon. Residents evacuated earlier were still being allowed to return home, but much of the western U.S., from the Rockies to Pacific Coast, above average temperatures over the weekend, even hotter weather here as we get the new week started for Monday and Tuesday. Officials warned the prolonged dry, hot weather and low humidity obviously increases the fire danger. Speaking of the heat, as we were mentioning earlier, the extreme heat claiming the lives of 3 hikers in 2 separate incidents in the Grand Canyon last week. Temperatures climbing in the southwest yesterday with a forecast 108 degrees in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Meanwhile, a brush fire in Miami-Dade County in Florida spread across some 2,000 acres Saturday over the weekend as well. All righty, clear lines, 844-844-3388. Moving on over. Russia getting hammered by Ukraine as this back and forth now 4+ years into this ongoing war. 4 people killed, fuel sales being suspended in the Crimea region of Russia, according to authorities on Sunday, after a massive Ukrainian barrage hit the Black Sea Peninsula. Ukraine said they've targeted military and energy facilities in Crimea, Moscow's key logistics base, for this 4-year military offensive and one of the biggest attacks in recent months. As a result of the drone attack on the Kerch Peninsula, there are casualties among the civilian population, according to the Russia-backed Crimean governor. 4 were killed, 28 wounded. But fuel sales at Crimean gas stations were suspended starting at 9 a.m., adding that fuel would only be sold to state enterprises. This raid killed one person on a ferry and also hit an oil terminal in Russia's southern Krasnodar region, bordering Crimea, part of the peninsula which was annexed by Russia in 2014, was left without power after the attacks, according to local utilities. Separately, overnight Russian strikes in eastern Ukraine killed 3. Ukraine calls the retaliatory attacks on Russia and the occupied territories long-range sanctions, denies targeting civilians, but all of this just in response to Russia's brutal attacks against our people, according to Zelensky. He went on to say Russian forces, or Ukrainian forces rather, also struck the Crimean Bridge, connecting the peninsula to Russia, as well as radar and air defense systems. After upgrading our long-range drone capabilities, Kyiv now says they can strike at will along the land corridor through occupied southeastern Ukraine that Russia uses to supply Crimea and its forces that are stationed there. This just really continues to intensify, but last week seen some of the massive strikes right outside of Moscow, oil terminals there. It's 844-844-3388. Back after this, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX 15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard. It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Summers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low-voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000. So you missed an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, and now you're suffering night sweats and panic attacks. Well, don't worry, we've got the cure. Never miss a broadcast of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Consistently ranked as one of the top podcasts and radio shows in America, we've made it easy for you to catch up on past shows. Find the Steve Summers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts or at overnightdriveradio.com. And never miss an episode of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
Last weekend, the Power Pole Nationals were big, like really big. This is the NTPA Overnight Report from the NTPA headquarters in Marion, Ohio. I'm Greg Hunter. We had an off week after Evansville. Then everybody set their GPS for Hutchinson, Minnesota for the Power Pole Nationals. 7 Grand National classes made the trek to the land of 10,000 lakes, and the crowd was given a show. Unfortunately, Friday was a rainout with 0 hooks happening, which made Saturday's show even tougher. The shortest distance for a winner was 310, so there was some serious horsepower hitting the track. When the Pro Stocks finally hit the track Saturday, a hook of 330 by Kevin Schmucker on Get Her Done took the win by 14 feet over the trailer mate Rampage, with Lance Little and Anger Management going 307, which was good enough for third. The Superstock Diesels had Zach Degenhart taking the top spot with Redline Fever after a pole of 310. In second was trailer mate Diggin' Hard, piloted by Joe Degenhart, going 288, and Roger Peterson at 285. The Superstock Opens had the Minnesota dirt figured out. The top 3 all went over 330. Cody Cheezick took Considered Armed and Dangerous 337 for the win over Aaron Hall and Taking Care of Business going 331.7, and third was Scott Wentworth with a hook of 331 even. The top 6 all tugged the sled well over 313, so everyone had the track figured out after they had an extra day in the pits to do some planning. When the light mods hit the track, they all put the power down. Every puller went over 300 feet, with Chase Richardson getting the win after a huge hook of 371 aboard Tag Team. He put 19 feet on second place Stephen Hood with Hush Money, and 26 feet better than Chase Smith and outclassed with his great hook of 345. The mods also had some great hooks. Corey Kielmeyer picked up the win after tugging the sled 356. Lane Bollinger and Money Pit took second, and Joe Rose took third after a hook of 314. The semis had the biggest hook of the night, with Lonnie Saylor taking Holy Smokes 380, which is just a wild number. He put 43 feet on second place Douglas Miller and the Executioner. Rounding out the top 3, Joseph Barber and General Stupidity going 322. Since not all of the NTPA Grand National classes were in Hutchinson, a few made their way to Ellsworth, Wisconsin for the showdown in Kurdtown. The light super stocks had Colton Whitworth taking the win over Bryce Pitcher and Brian Bowles. The two-wheel drives had Jason Sullivan taking the win over Wayne Timmerman and RJ Simon. Finally, the 4.1 limited pro stocks had Jeff Ball picking up the win over Ray Hareen and Tom Gillis. This weekend, the Macville Nationals host the Superstock Opens, the 4-wheel drive trucks, mini modifieds, and unlimited modifieds taking to the track both Friday and Saturday night. Regional hooks include Region 3 has a hook in Northwood, Iowa, and Spring Valley, Minnesota. Region 2 has a pole in Fremont, Michigan. If you missed any of the polls so far in 2026, you can relive them on Full Pole Live or watch any poll on the NTPA schedule via Full Pole Live. If you'd like to relive the 2025 season, every Wednesday at 8:30, 7:30 Eastern on RFD TV is NTPA Championship polling. The rest of June is a look back at the North Iowa Nationals from Rockwell, Iowa in 2025. This has been the NTPA Overnight Report. I'm Greg Hunter. Remember, pull hard.
Over the weekend, got an interesting email forwarded my way from, who was that? CNI Dog, I believe it is. The guy that's all about the artificial intelligence stuff. It's actually something he brought up here a few weeks ago on the program that he said at the time could be done. I mean, you're on the internet chatting with people, or possibly even like in this case on an OnlyFans page, right? I do not have an OnlyFans account. My understanding is it's a place where you gotta pay to use, and I guess you pay girls. What guys pay girls to disrobe? Kind of the stripper club kind of thing. So you don't know who's actually on the other end. And the story is a college kid, apparently in Austin, Texas, created, and this is what did CNI Dog call it? An avatar, right? Just using artificial intelligence to type in what you want her to look like and what her personality is going to be. He created an artificial intelligence girl named Maya, and he set up an OnlyFans page. This kid's made $43,000 in 30 days. Currently has 1,247 paying subscribers. Her top fan dropped almost $2,000. So this is some dude at the other end thinking he's paying a real human to do things and take her clothes off, whatever it is. $2,000. Yeah, the girl never sleeps. She is simply a folder on a MacBook. She doesn't exist. And this kid in Austin, Texas, he doesn't have anything to film. Apparently, Claude Code writes all the messages. So people are sitting there chatting with, well, they think they're chatting with an actual human. You're chatting with an artificial intelligence bot on the other end. And I guess it's an artificial intelligence known as Flux that actually generates all the photographs. People paying money to talk to a computer, thinking there's somebody with emotions really on the other end. But I think that's the scary thing about the artificial intelligence. They say that as it continues to grow and gain and learn, it actually begins to act like it has feelings and emotion. Obviously, to the point where it can fool humans on the other end of the line. Good golly. All righty, we'll wind things down here can you believe that? Are you mind blown yet? Yeah, money for nothing. And your chicks for free. Who wrote that song? $43,000 in 30 days using a fake artificial intelligence OnlyFans model to trick, I guess, the simpletons out there, as we'll call it. All right, with that, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on an early Monday. Continues to be an active day through the heart of the country. Weather radar's been busy all night. That line of storms that was in western Texas, Oklahoma, Panhandle region when we started is now all the way over, reaching to the easternmost reaches of Oklahoma. And all along the way has been producing tornado warnings and severe winds. That may ultimately be a derecho criteria when all is said and done. But hey, we'll see you back at the midnight hour. Join us for our next edition of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't up before you sleep.